I don't really know why I just like believed with conviction that I was going to do this, but like I really did.
What's up, guys? My name is Rob, and this is Rob on the Run podcast, a running podcast for all healthy lifestyles. And today we have a very special guest, someone that I've been wanting to find. You guys have been messaging me and letting me know that you guys wanted not only a runner, but maybe someone that can help them with their nutritional side, their, stuff like that for their races, how to prepare for on the nutritional side for races. So we have Starla Garcia, which she has the same last name as mine, so that's pretty cool. Starla, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. So yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to share about nutrition today, chat about nutrition, yeah, and just like talk about fun running stuff together. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, Garcia is like the best last name ever.
It's the best last name, yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of my friends say, because I always say that Garcia is the best last name, and then they tell me, but Roberto Garcia is such a very popular name. Not so much popular like cool. It's like the
Mhm.
most common name. There you go. And I'm like, so,
Mhm.
but it doesn't matter. It's still Garcia is
Yeah.
a really good name. It comes from my grandparents are Spaniards, so that's where it comes
Mhm.
from my side. I don't
Right.
know. I don't know if you know where the Garcia comes from your side.
So my grandpa, well, because my dad's
Hmm.
dad, yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I actually mostly identify as like a Mexican indigenous person.
Oh, wow.
That's my genealogy. We've done a genealogy test in the past, and
Hmm.
like most of my DNA is from indigenous backgrounds in
That's
Mexico.
awesome.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
was born and raised in Mexico in Guadalajara,
mhm.
so I'm
Okay.
proud to be a
Yeah.
Mexican for sure, for sure.
Okay.
And but yeah, it's weird because my grandparents, my dad's side, they were born in Spain. He came like when he was
Okay.
17 over here, married
Oh,
someone from
wow.
Yucatan, and that's
Yeah.
how that's how it all started. So yeah,
It
that's
started, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But this is not a show about that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I do run into tangents sometimes, so I apologize in advance. But
Yeah.
easiest question I probably will ask you: how did you get into running? Because you are a runner too. Not only
Yeah.
you're a dietitian, but you're a
Mhm.
runner. So how did you first get into running?
So I actually first got into running as like a kid.
Hmm.
I've been running since I was like 8 years old, nine
Oh,
years
wow.
old. So most of my life I've been a runner.
Hmm.
And yeah, I feel really lucky to have discovered it as like something that I loved and like I enjoyed so much as a
Hmm.
kid. I think like everybody has like a running story in like their childhood, but like I would say, yeah, I've been a runner since then.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed it. I loved the competitive parts of it. It was just like playtime as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, like when you're a kid and like you're with all of your cousins and your family, you do races or like tags.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just always identified as like a fast and like capable runner.
Hmm.
And then like I uh just really wanted to be a runner in high school. So I like ran in middle school more competitively, and then like also in high school. I played a lot of other sports as well throughout my childhood. So I did like gymnastics, volleyball, basketball, softball, soccer, cheerleading. Like I did a lot of different things. And then like I just slowly like let go of the other ones.
Yeah.
And I just like committed mostly to running by the time I was in high school.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And it's funny that you say that you found your love very early.
Hmm.
Compared to me, I started more through my fiance.
Hmm.
She was a runner. She's been a runner for years. And when I met her, we met in Bumble. We connected. She convinced me to run the Minute Maid 5K, and
Yeah.
I got the first medal. And for me, that's what really, really got me into
Mhm.
running because I hated running. I absolutely hated running. I would only do it in a treadmill because it was too damn hot outside. And I only did it for maybe like 10 minutes just to get the,
Yeah.
the heart going and then hitting the
Yeah.
weights or whatnot. So it was more just of my like real quick cardio, just again to get the blood going. And then I started running, the 5K, and then I finished it in like less than 30 minutes, which I asked all
Mhm.
my running friends, is that a good time? Like, what is that? Is that something, is it good? And they're like, it's for starters, it is. So when they said that, that really got my fire going. I was like, well, that's
Yeah.
not good enough. If someone's telling me, it's decent, that just doesn't work for me. So little
Yeah.
by little, I started, working at it, and now she says that she created a beast because now I'm running an ultra in 2 days. I
Yeah.
run marathons. I can't even remember the last time I ran a half, which is
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah.
so I it's crazy how things change, and like you said, you started running just to have fun, playing tag, and then how did that change from just recreational to where it is now?
So like in school, in like elementary school, we would like do like the fitness test, right? And so like ours was always like do a lap around like the playground. It was like a large playground,
Yeah.
or it felt like it because I was a kid. And so I would always finish first all of the time.
Oh wow.
And then I remember like I won like a huge race with like 90 kids or something like that.
Oh wow.
And I remember my dad being like, "Hey, you're actually like kind of good. Like maybe like maybe you have something here." And he was just like, it was just like kind of something that he had mentioned, but it was never really like, "Hey, like you're gonna do some track or things like that." Like
Yeah.
my dad actually didn't make me do any of that. He was just more of like, "Oh, okay, like you like running, you're good at it,
Hmm.
great. Like, if you want to do all these other things, great too." And so I did a lot of other things,
Yeah.
but I think it really changed probably when I was in high school. And I was like a freshman,
Hmm.
and I was on the varsity team.
Oh wow.
And we had gone to state that year. So I was like, so in cross country, there's like seven runners part of your team, and
Yeah.
you need five to score. So I was in like the top five
Okay.
as a freshman. And because of my scoring in the cross country team, I was the fourth person. Our score was high enough to be able to go on to the state level. So we placed in regionals like in the top three, and then we went on to state. And I think when I got there, I realized like, oh, like this is like a big thing. Like this is
Yeah.
a huge thing. And then I remember after that, I turned to my coach and I was like, I think I want to run in college. And he was like, okay, well, you're gonna have to work really, really hard.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I think I can. And it just like completely delusional. Like
Uh-huh.
I just went with that.
Uh-huh.
And I just like really believed that I was gonna do it one day.
That's
Yeah.
that's crazy. And mind you that I might be a little ignorant when it comes to like being in varsity and
Hmm.
in such a early time in your college or high school, sorry.
Hmm.
Is that a very common thing when it comes to like cross country? Because for me,
Um,
like when I played soccer, I made varsity like my sophomore year,
yeah.
which is not common, but
Yeah.
it happens more often in soccer per se. But when
Hmm.
it comes to like track and field and cross country, is that something common in high school that someone comes from middle school, first year of high school, and they're already, exceeding so much that they actually make it to varsity?
I don't really know. I think I was just like I wouldn't say I was new to the sport because I did
Hmm.
cross country and track in middle school as well. And
Yeah.
I was like a pretty fast runner. Like I would still place all the time. Like I would
Yeah.
place in district and things like that.
Hmm.
Um, but I couldn't even tell you like how many times I won or like anything like that in middle school. Like I just wasn't keeping track in that way.
Yeah.
I was just like really enjoying it. I think in like high school, and I'm not from Houston either. Like
Okay.
high school sports in Houston area are just like on a whole other level.
Yeah.
Um, and so like it might not be common here
Yeah.
for that to happen, but I'm from the Rio Grande Valley. So
Okay.
I'm from a smaller, I wouldn't even say I was smaller school because I was still 5A.
What
And now
what
I
school
think
did you
they're
go to?
6A. I went to PSJ North, so it's
Oh,
in
nice.
a small, like city in
Yeah.
Texas on the border.
Yeah.
Um, and so I went to school there, and I think they're now 6A, to be honest.
Yeah.
But when I was running cross country and track, we were 5A. And so, yeah, I think in that area, like it kind of was common to see like younger
Yeah.
class, like freshman, sophomore kids to be running varsity. Um, and I think it was also just like the older that, you know, like people got like they lost
Hmm.
interest in the sport or like they wanted to do other things.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a lot of discipline to stick with cross country and like,
Especially in the valley because it's so hot and humid. I'm
mhm,
originally I came from Wesco, so I definitely
okay,
know
yeah,
where you're from, and I feel like
mhm,
PSGA JA is more of a football school. They for
mhm,
what I've
mhm,
known, they've always been pretty good at that. So
mhm,
having cross country not being a big sport like you mentioned, I feel like people usually, I know from when I went to school in Wesco, most football players or soccer players would do cross country just
mhm,
because of the running, the stamina part, so you can actually
yeah,
play your
yeah,
main sport and be
yeah,
able to, do better, but the fact that, you actually you actually enjoyed it for the right purpose, I guess, per se,
mhm,
it's amazing, and I say to me it sounds a little not weird, but not common because when I went 1 year in the valley, unfortunately, or fortunate or unfortunate, however you want to see it. I
mhm,
came from California. My parents moved to the
mhm,
valley, and I only did 1 year in the valley. But in California, like I was mentioned to you, when I was playing soccer, it
mhm,
was a lot of politics, for example. Like my coach was very nice and told me, you know what, I think you can make it in varsity, but the problem is that the guy that you would probably take over, his mom basically buys us all the uniforms every year, and you would never play. Like you would be benched unless he gets hurt. You would never play. So I'd
mhm,
much rather you play in JV, let him graduate, and then we'll see where you're at. So
yeah,
that kind of that's why I asked because it's I guess it's the what I had to go through, and knowing that there's people there, maybe seniors or juniors that
mhm,
they might give it to them just because it's their last year, but that's
yeah.
amazing. That's amazing that you actually did it and you stuck through it. So you did it the whole 4 years when you were in high school?
Yeah, I did it all 4 years too. Yeah, and then went to state every year in cross country. We won regionals like my senior year. So we had
Wow.
like a pretty robust program
Hmm.
by the time I left. So yeah, I think like and like maybe people that listen to like to this podcast are not from that area,
Yeah.
but it's like I think um like I feel very proud that like I came from that area of Texas. Like I'm
Hmm.
from like a community along the border
Yeah.
and like I think like there are so many great athletes down there
Yeah.
that really get looked over like even just like beyond the time that I was there.
Yeah.
And so I think I think at the time, like being able to be recruited and like run in college, like at that time, like
Yeah.
I don't really know why I just like believed with conviction that I was going to do this, but like I really did. And I really only knew like maybe two other people that actually did it
Yeah.
at the level that I was like I aspired to do.
Yeah.
I didn't even know very many collegiate athletes like at all. Like I didn't know any of them. So yeah, it was just really interesting how like I walked away from
Hmm.
like a freshman experience and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I think I could do this. Like, I think if I worked really hard,
Yeah.
like I could do it, right? And it's kind of, yeah, being very delusional and just believing that I could, I think was like, it just worked in my favor in that
Yeah.
way. Hmm.
Well, it all has to start with a dream, right? It's
Yeah.
something that motivates you. And I guess at that
Hmm.
moment when you made state for the first time and you saw,
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure you saw the best
Oh,
that
yeah.
there is in the state, and you saw
Yeah.
yourself and maybe I'm guessing you were up in par or even better than some of them, then that kind of gives you that illusion that why not? If I work hard, and I
Yeah.
put in the time. Why can I not do it? And
Yeah.
I love that you said that about the Valley because I went 1 year in school there, but I spent 20 years living there for in the
Mhm.
Valley. And the Valley, a lot of people don't really even know what the Valley
Right.
is.
Yeah.
Like you just said, like if I didn't tell you I was from the Valley, you probably thought I didn't know, And when
Yeah.
people ask me like where are you from? Where did you come from? And I'm like, oh, I'm from Harlingen. I
Yeah.
lived in Harlingen most of my life. And they're like, what, Arlington? They all of a sudden think it's Arlington. And then I tell
Yeah.
them, oh,
Yeah.
I'm about 30 minutes from South Padre Island. And they're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
now I know.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. Like people should know about
Yeah.
border towns. Like they like are so important to the economy of
Oh,
Texas.
yeah.
Not to like enter that world, but extremely important. Yeah, and I think like the communities that live down there are,
Hmm.
yeah, like they like it's a very different mindset with work and just everything. So yeah, I think like even to like what you're saying, like to like it's fortunate or unfortunate that I grew up there, but I'm like I do think like I feel like that too sometimes where I'm like, yeah, I was in a bubble my
Hmm.
entire life in a very homogenous area.
Yeah.
Like to my benefit, like I learned a lot about my culture.
Yeah.
Like I understood like value systems very differently, but at the same time, I wasn't exposed to a lot of different things either, like what it maybe actually took to be a collegiate runner. Like I had no idea. Um, so yeah, I think like there's a lot of things that um, yeah, that I look back on now and I'm like, oh, I probably would have benefited to know this in high school, but it just didn't happen that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I kind of went in like into a culture shock into college running.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and to
Hmm.
clarify, because I said like fortunate or
Hmm.
unfortunate more than anything, because when I moved, like I mentioned, I was a senior. I was
Yeah.
going to be a senior,
Yeah.
and as a 17-year
Okay.
old that is
Hmm.
so used to already has an
Hmm.
established friendship, and then parents tell you, "Oh, we're moving to Texas."
Yeah.
For me was like I hated my parents. I
Yeah.
hated my parents because
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice. My brother did at the time,
Hmm.
and but now at my age, I think about it, and it was the best decision ever.
Hmm.
I was not doing good in school over there because I would skip too
Hmm.
many classes,
Yeah.
and if that didn't happen, I probably would have not finished school on time and whatnot. So, I was fortunate now to, like you said, looking at now, see how much the great things there are in the valley or in the
Hmm.
Grand Valley being border town. Athletes, I always bring him up because he's he's a very good friend of mine. I'm very, very proud of him. Like Art Hurtado, which is the guy from Brownsville. He just finished Leadville, finished 20th. A
Hmm.
guy from the valley there's no mountains, there's no
No,
elevation,
there's
there's
nothing.
nothing. And he's over there going and beating, 700 other runners, some of them
Mhm.
that live in
Mhm.
Colorado, and I'm so proud, and
Yeah.
he's from Brownsville. He's very proud for being from Brownsville. He represents us very well. So there are a lot of great athletes,
Mhm.
that have done great things, just like yourself, and the Valley definitely does not get that credit that it deserves. So
Mhm.
I'm proud of you, proud
Oh,
for
thank
now that I know that you're another Valley person.
you.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
after high school, you went to college. Where did you end up going?
I went to University of Houston. Yeah.
Nice, nice,
So
nice.
I did undergrad there, and that's where I studied nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to grad school like immediately after, did my fifth year there during grad school. Uh, and then I ended up getting like my license to be a dietitian. So
That's
yeah, I
awesome.
like did the whole college athlete experience all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
I did cross country and track,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I would say that like quickly after like retiring
Yeah.
from like collegiate training, I wanted to move into marathon, but I'd always wanted to move into marathon since I was a kid too.
Okay.
So I always like kind of thought long term, like decades ahead for myself. And I remember seeing like Dina Castor finish.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I want to experience that. I want to run a marathon and like know what that feels like.
Yeah.
And like I just always looked forward to moving into the marathon after college. So when I was like done, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty much done with like track workouts and doing all of this stuff
Yeah.
for like my seasons. I just like
Hmm.
wanted to get back to like running for enjoyment and like running because I liked it.
Yeah.
So the competitive part of it, I just kind of felt burnt out. And like a lot of people feel like that after track season, but I
Yeah.
think like being in college, like a distance runner, it's really tough because you're training year round. You
Yeah.
sacrifice a lot year round. You do a lot of summer training to prep for cross country season. So I think I was just like wanting to really re-identify like why I liked running and like why, why did I want to continue with it in the
Yeah.
first place? So
Yeah.
yeah, I think like making that transition to marathoning was like a way for me to reestablish that and like reclaim some ownership over running.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can only imagine how it feels to
Mhm,
be
mhm,
year long, like you said,
mhm,
training for
mhm,
your school and whatnot, which is a great feeling, I'm pretty sure.
mhm,
But after a
mhm,
while you just want to find that joy again because I've had a couple of friends that are been collegiate and they that's the same thing they tell me, exactly what you said. You
mhm.
know, it's they still love it, but it almost started feeling more like a job, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and that takes a little bit of the joy of running and why you started and why
mhm,
you're
mhm.
there in the first place, you know. So that's
Yeah.
that's that's kind of cool that you were able to do what you had to do and then go into the marathon. And by the way, what was your first marathon once you did your first one? Which one was it?
It was Houston, yeah.
Okay.
So like I signed up right away because I think it opens like in June of every
Mm-hmm.
year. So like I
Mm-hmm.
finished my last race in like end of May, something like that, or
Mm-hmm.
like mid-May. And then like not even a month later, I was signing up for Houston right away. So
That's crazy.
I was just like really excited to like finally become a marathoner.
Yeah.
So which like I think is funny that like I felt like that, but I think I just like because my relationship with running started so young, I
Yeah.
like really missed I think a lot of that and just running for fun, going out and doing a run. And I always knew too that like I didn't like I didn't really need a structured plan to like enjoy running. I
Yeah.
didn't need to like run fast times to like feel like a runner because I had
Mm-hmm.
already been doing it before I even knew what any of it was.
Yeah.
So, and like that's not to knock people that like find fulfillment in that because I definitely find a lot of fulfillment in being competitive as
Yeah.
well in running. But there's certain parts of being a competitor that you cannot always fill up. And so you have to go back to like why you even started, what
Yeah.
did it give you? And so I just had always like a strong memory base of that to fall
Mm-hmm.
back on and like in my childhood. So like I kind of really like I know when I'm always training too much and I start to think about like I just really want to just run for fun. I
Yeah.
probably am training just way too hard and I
Yeah.
probably should take a break now. Hmm.
No, and I get that. I have to also remind myself
Hmm.
sometimes when I
Hmm.
put these lofty goals and say,
Hmm.
you know what,
Hmm.
the most important thing is just enjoy it, because
Hmm.
once you don't see, sometimes what happens, at least for me, like if I put this lofty goal and I don't hit what I envision that I can do, then I'm very hard on myself. And then that's where instead of enjoying the runs, I'm more concentrating like, man, if you don't do this way, you're not you that's why you didn't hit your PR or whatever, you know? And
Yeah.
so I got to remind myself constantly, this is
Yeah.
keeping you healthy. This is going to help you live a long
Mhm.
life. That's what you want. And this is what you want to do to be healthy. This is for fun. And so I love hearing that from someone that was so competitive, like in
Mhm.
yourself when you're in college and whatnot, and changing that mindset. And it's very important for the listeners to know that,
Mhm.
if you get into running or whatever sport that you decide to do, do it because,
Hmm.
why. Find the why. It's
Yeah.
because you enjoy it. You found something about it that you loved, and
Yeah.
that should
Yeah.
be your kind of like your North Star per se. So
Yes.
that's awesome that you say that. But I know you said that you are competitive, but I also noticed, and while
Hmm.
researching, I guess, Instagram stalking you, if you want to call it,
Hmm.
I noticed that you did the Olympic trials.
Yes.
How did that go? Because it was in 2020, right?
Yes, it was in 2020, so it was the end of on February. And so like maybe like a week later, like
Hmm.
everything had shut down
Yeah.
for COVID. I guess like how it came up was it was after 2028 when was it? I'm trying to think of the timeline here. Yeah, because I had it ran CIM 2018, and that was like the year that like almost 100 women OTQ'd at CIM.
Oh, wow.
Like it was a huge group of women that like had qualified off of that race. It was
Yeah.
like honestly probably one of the most perfect days in California. I don't think there's been like another beautiful day
Yeah.
like that since. And so I went out there. I didn't know the standard. I didn't know anything about the standard. And my friend, um, she was like, "Hey, like we should do a marathon together. Like let's go out to California. I hear that so many people love doing this race." And this was before, like, of course, CIM blew up. It
Yeah.
was really because of that race in 2018 that it
Yeah.
blew up. And so um I remember like my training cycle going into that. Uh, I actually probably had one of the best training cycles with like the least amount of stress and pressure
Oh,
going into
wow.
the cycle. I think I was doing like one workout a week on the treadmill like throughout the summer just to get out
Yeah.
of the heat. And like my friends would all go to like a treadmill studio, and at that time it was called Race Pace. So we'd
Okay.
all go to Race Pace like on a Friday, and we would take a class together. And then like we would do like extra miles before or after, whatever we
Hmm.
decided. And that was really like what I did. And then I would do track on Tuesdays with the Harriers because that's the club I belong to. So I
Hmm.
would do those two things and just like run like in between my workouts.
Hmm.
I don't remember like the mileage necessarily at that time. And then I started working with a coach, and I would do Harriers track workout still every
Yeah.
Tuesday in the evenings, and then I would do like one of his workouts, and then I would like do my mileage. And I think like we were aiming for like a goal of like sub 3. Like that was just like my goal was
Okay.
I just want to run under 3 hours. And like prior to that, I had just started like actually training again
Hmm.
after all the like the years of being in college and just running like marathons for fun.
Yeah.
I had run Boston 2018, so the really stormy year.
Okay.
And I ran
Oh, so
three.
you ran it when Des Linden won.
I ran it when Des Linden
Oh,
won.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome.
So I was there that day. It's a complete blur of a day, but I remember like I remember being cold, but like I don't remember how bad it was until
Yeah.
like I saw the footage of the race and I was like, oh, is that bad?
Yeah. It was pretty
Wow.
bad. I remember. Yeah.
So I ran a 3:15 that day.
Wow.
So I was pretty happy because that was like a PR for me for that day.
Hmm.
And that's actually been like the last time I ran in Boston. I haven't gone back since. So yeah, I ran Boston. I ran 3:15, and so like my next goal was like I just want to break 3 hour. Like
Yeah.
that's just the goal that I have. And I ran 2:53 at CIM. So I had a huge like
Wow.
breakthrough.
Yeah.
I felt great throughout the race. And like I kind of like to go in blind into races. Like I don't want to really know too much of the course. Like I don't want to be like having to worry about the course. Like I just don't operate like that. Some people love to like
Yeah.
know every single detail of the course.
Yeah.
I find races much more stimulating and I'm much more mentally engaged
Yeah.
the less I know because I'm like really paying attention to the course as it lays itself out.
Yeah.
I did listen to a podcast and it did break up like what I should do, but in terms of looking at a map, I
Yeah.
had no idea. Like I was just going off of like audio recommendations on the race.
That's
And this was
interesting.
actually the Rogue Running podcast.
Okay, yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
a full CIM breakdown. It's like one of his like older ones, but
Mm-hmm.
to this day, that's probably one of the best race strategies that I've ever heard for
Mm-hmm.
CIM. So if anybody's listening and wants to like look up that episode and the running CIM, I highly recommend it. And I
I
love it
will. I will
because
for sure.
he it's an awesome breakdown and he actually had quite a few people OTQ that day at CIM too.
That's awesome.
Um, so I did like his suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I remember like just really wanting like to get a like a race plan or like race strategies for like the first half of it, and like
Yeah.
that was it. And I think that was probably like the best way that I went about it that day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that day of racing. Yeah, I ran a 2:53 and then like I think like a couple hours later, my friend was like, hey, like, are you gonna try for the OTQ? And I was like, I don't know, I don't think so. Like, I just don't wanna like put that on myself. Like, I just didn't want to like stress about running in that way or think about it in that
Yeah.
way. And then I listened to a podcast maybe like another like week or two later, and it was of like a girl, and it was Ali on the Run's podcast
Oh
with
yeah.
Carly Gill.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to her episode about like just missing the time. And I think she ran like 2:47, 2:48 that
Oh
day.
wow.
And like she was like, yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna try again and I'm gonna do it. And like I remember finishing that podcast episode and thinking, wow, she believes so much in herself. I used to be like that.
Yeah.
Because remember, I was like, I'm gonna go and do this.
Yeah.
And like, I'm gonna run a marathon. And I remember thinking, like, I used to be like that. Why can't I be like that too?
Yeah.
Why am I selling myself short?
Yeah.
And so then I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go for it too. Why not? And I think like my sports psychologist has always said that like she's like, you're just somebody that just bets on yourself. Like, you're just somebody that does. And like, if you feel it, you just are all in and you bet on yourself.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I was like, that's true. I was like, I kind of do that. And there's been very many different things in my life where I've noticed that
Mm-hmm.
where, again, completely delusional, but like
Mm-hmm.
I believe 100% in the dream or in the goal. Like I don't know what's on the other side or like how hard it's gonna be, but
Yeah.
it's really interesting. Like sometimes I just really trust my gut and
Mm-hmm.
like I just go for it. And like sometimes it sounds like an out there kind of goal, but
Yeah.
sometimes I just like really believe in it and I'll like I find myself occasionally like really betting on myself in the same way. So yeah, I just like decided like right then and there that I was gonna go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I joined like a training group and like we like that was like our goal was like to try and hit the standard.
Yeah.
So after that I ran grandma's 2019. Yeah, 2019. And then I ran like a 2:47, so I chipped away at my time.
Wow.
Um, and that race I was like pretty disappointed because I was like really like working hard to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
like I was like, oh my gosh, okay, like this like these paces are not easy. This course was not easy.
Yeah.
Um like can I do this again? And I was like, okay, let me try again. And then I did it at CIM 2019. I went back to CIM. I
And the
did
weather
that.
was not that good anymore, huh?
So that day I don't remember. I think it was like pretty good weather like that day, but it wasn't as good as the 2018 year. Yeah.
I feel like at CIM
Mhm.
somewhere along the line it rains. Like there's
Mhm.
always a little bit of rain somewhere in that
Yeah.
race. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
to hear that you in 2018 you had like the perfect weather
It was
it
the
is
perfect day. Yeah. The perfect weekend to
yeah.
race. I don't remember it windy at all. I remember being so cold. I had to wear like arm warmers like in the race. And
Oh wow.
I think I have a photo where I'm wearing it like the whole race too.
Oh wow.
Um, but yeah, I remember it being really cold that morning. And that was like the year too that like the super shoe like make it made a huge breakthrough.
Oh
That
yeah,
was like
that's
one of the
true.
first huge races where people were wearing super shoes. And I didn't even wear a super shoe that day. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But when I did CIM 2019, yes. And I think when was it? Yeah, I DNF'd at the 30K. So like at mile 18, 20,
Yeah.
somewhere around there, I DNF'd.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like my feet were just taking a beating and
Hmm.
like I remember I DNF'd and like I could not walk. Like my feet and my
Oh
toes
wow.
were so slammed that day.
Yeah.
And I remember getting to the med tent because so I was in like the sub elite corral
Hmm.
that day, and there's a van that goes and picks up all the sub elites to get you back to the start so they can like move you along.
Hmm.
And so like the guy had to like stop the van on the
Hmm.
side of the road, and like he came over and like picked me up off
Oh
the road.
wow.
Yeah, like he lifted me into the van because I just like wasn't gonna make it. I was moving too slow.
Oh
Um,
wow.
and then he put me in the van, um, and then we got back to the med tent, and like luckily like my feet were not bloody, but like basically like if I would have kept trying to run,
Yeah.
all of my toenails probably would have come off.
Oh
Like
wow.
literally all of my toenails.
Oh
And
wow.
so I went to the podiatrist after that race, here in Houston, and they were like, yeah, you're like, you need to make sure that one, they don't get affected, and then two, um, like they're probably gonna fall off. And so like I think like I signed up for for Houston. I
Hmm.
was able to get a bib for the sub elite corral, so that last chance to qualify for the
Yeah.
trials.
Yeah.
I was like in that group. And like I think like a week and a half before like all my toenails came off. So I had like no toenails. So I was like, well, it's like one less thing to worry about.
Yeah.
So that helped going in just for peace of mind.
Yeah.
And then yeah, like Houston was like another CIM 2018. It was like the perfect day to run and race, and it was cold. It wasn't too windy. Um, yeah, it was just like the perfect day to race. Yeah.
That's where you hit the standard for the
Yeah.
oh that's awesome. That's
Yeah, and
awesome.
that's where I ran. Yeah, I hit the standard.
And then where was it that year for the 2020? Was it Atlanta?
It was in Atlanta. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a hot day. I remember I watching it on TV.
Yeah.
It was pretty hot.
Yeah,
How
it
was
was.
that experience for you being with the, you know, the best of the best of the best in the nation to, you know, be out there and running such a, you know, amazing event?
Um, it was interesting. Only like I think it hadn't actually hit me that I was like going to the trials
Yeah.
until like maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks before. Yeah, it was like 2 weeks before. And I was giving a presentation, and like the guy announced him, like he announced to like the group of people that I was giving a presentation to.
Yeah.
They were like, she's like one of the like top 100 something, with female marathoners in the country. And I was like, oh shit.
Wow.
Like, yeah, you're right. Like I actually like if you ranked everybody going into the trials, like
Yeah.
I had ran something in like the top 500 times, and like out of all the female marathoners in the US. So I was like, all right, yeah, okay, like this is for real. I think like because sometimes we think about like just the top 10, but I think for like sub elite, like that was like satisfying for me
Oh
to
yeah.
like I don't need to be like a professional. I don't need to be like a
Yeah.
top 10 runner, top 25, nothing like that. Like I've never really aspired to do that kind of
Mm-hmm.
marathoning. My goal was always just to like run to the best of my ability,
Yeah.
feel great in it, and to be able to enjoy it so I can enjoy it like as I get old. Like that is my goal with running is to like be competitive into like an older age category. Um, so to hear that, I was like, oh, yeah, I was like, you're kind of right here. Okay,
It's
cool.
funny how they put in that
Um,
perspective.
yeah, like I
It really puts it out there, right?
Yeah, like I hadn't really thought about it like that. It was just like, oh yeah, like I'm not gonna go to the Olympics, but like I'm just gonna be there like for
Yeah.
fun and to enjoy it. But like when I heard it that way, oh, I was like, yeah, you're kind of right here. So that was like really satisfying to hear. And I think just to like have somebody frame it in that way and to
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge like, hey, like you're actually really good.
Yeah.
Like this is like where you're at comparatively to like other marathoners. Um, and then like I think also just being there, like it was just very exciting. Like I think also it was like a new chapter of like female marathoning in the
Mm-hmm.
US
Yeah.
that we were just seeing, like all of the work into it.
Yeah.
I think too, it was like really nice because like there were people that like I raced against in college there. Like
Oh,
I
really?
remember seeing them or like they were like just a couple years ahead. So it was like because I was like 30 at the time. So
Okay.
like there was people like I think like the median age was like 26, 27.
Yeah.
And or like the younger groups and then
Mm-hmm.
like my age group and then like women that were 35 plus. Like they were farther out. But
Yeah.
like I think like for being like somebody in their 30s to be there, like it
Yeah.
was really satisfying because I felt like I was like right in the middle of like the beginning of marathoning and then
Yeah.
like I was able to see like oh yeah like all of my younger peers are gonna like carry this through too with me, so like that was
Yeah.
also really nice. And then like yeah, a lot of people that like I had known for a couple of years just like in the collegiate world,
Yeah.
were also there. So that was also really nice.
That's kind of like a complete circle, right? Seeing
Yeah,
them
yeah.
compete with
Hmm.
you in the collegiate level and then,
Hmm.
seeing
Hmm.
them back and now
Yeah,
in a different kind of way, right? Running a
yeah.
long distance,
Hmm.
and seeing that you're at the right place at the right time. It kind of
Yeah.
that must have felt good. But, I had Mimi Smith as one of my
Hmm.
first episode. She
Hmm.
ran the time trials this last time in Orlando.
Hmm.
And I'll tell you the same thing I told her because she was saying like she also told me like yeah I love being there because it's such a great honor to be there, but I knew I wasn't gonna make the Olympics or whatnot. But I told her
Hmm.
one thing that I will tell you the same, like don't take that for granted because I think you as a sub elite marathoner, you guys have it much harder than like a professional because a professional, if you think about it, and maybe I'm ignorant about how they do their
Hmm.
how they train, how because it's their job, a
Hmm.
professional, that's their job. Running is their job, so they train. That's all
Hmm.
they have to do. Like I'm pretty sure you had a job that you had to do, and you have all these things that you have to do, and add that train for a marathon. You know,
Hmm.
so I always told, and I told Mimi the same, and like I said, I'll tell you the same because you are even better than that because try working a 40-hour job and then add your personal stuff, whatever is happening to you in your life, and then train for a marathon, to be able to qualify for something so big like the Olympic trials. So I think that is commendable, that you have all these things and you are you know within the best 100 people out there, and knowing that this is not what you do for a living, this is not what Monday through Friday or Monday through Sunday, this is all you train, and that's it. So I think that is a big thing, and I'm sure you were proud of yourself, but give yourself credit, even more credit, because again, the Des Lindens and the all these amazing women runners, they have all the elite stuff to offer, and when
Mhm.
people like yourself make it to these time trials, they go by what they have, and you don't have, all these
Mhm.
amazing things that you can count on, and you still made it to that. So that's awesome. I think that's awesome. Just like how I always say, like your 6 hour marathoner compared to your 3 hour marathoner, there's there
Mhm.
they work just as hard to finish the race, right?
Yeah.
Same thing for you. Like the fact that you made it, you probably, you were working, you had your own life, and then be able to do that. I think it's amazing. So congratulations. I thought that was really awesome when I saw that you were an
Mhm.
Olympic uh, you did the Olympic trials.
Mhm.
I remember that one in Atlanta because I was following someone in San Antonio, another woman that made it,
Mhm.
Anita.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think she's a coach now for the cross
Mhm.
country team there in San
Mhm.
Antonio, and it was amazing to see her do it,
Yeah.
and that would have been cool if I knew that you were there too. That would have been
Yeah.
awesome. But
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
how
She's
how
so
how did they
nice.
treat you? Like when you're there, how do they you like a
Uh,
pro? How was your experience?
so it was like really nice. I think like we got like 2 nights compensated for at our hotel, but like you
Nice.
have to still like pay your way, like your
Of
flight
course.
there, stuff like that. You also get like food, like also served, so you have like breakfast, lunch, dinner also served to you, stuff
Yeah.
like that. Which is also nice. Yeah. So like we got meals covered while we were there. You don't get any gear, nothing.
Really?
You don't get anything. Nope. You don't get a medal when you finish. Nope. You don't get none of that.
And now that I think about it, yeah, Mimi told me that, and I always said, man, they need to change that. They have to
Yeah.
give you some sort of keepsake, because, of course you have the memories that will
Yeah.
never no never
Yeah.
change. But man, a nice little medal would be nice, to be
That's
able
what
to.
everybody has said. Yeah, but yeah, they don't give you anything. No, yeah. And I don't know. I don't, yeah. I honestly wasn't expecting anything. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just like, I'm just here like to like see what I can do. This is like for me.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I think it was just more of like kind of like a victory lap to like your career almost up
yeah,
until that point. Like I don't feel like my career is done yet,
yeah.
but like it was like okay, like all
What's
of
a high point of your
yeah,
career? Like a really
yeah,
a
it was
big
like a
achievement. Yeah,
definitive, yeah, high point of like yeah, all the years that I had spent training, getting up early, yeah, like
it
all of
was
those
all worth
things.
it, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure my parents were like, wow, okay.
Oh
Yeah.
man. I
Yeah.
bet you your parents were when they found out that you made it to the Olympic trials, they probably
Yeah, I
were
mean,
telling every single person.
yeah, it was so funny. Like I remember, well, because like my older sister, I think it was like maybe Christmas, she looks at
Hmm.
me, she's like, "Do you really think you're gonna do it?" And I was like, I have to believe I'm gonna do it. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna do it. And I was like, I've already like trained so hard. And I think too, because I had OTQ, I had attempted twice already with
Hmm.
like without success
Yeah.
in like qualifying.
Hmm.
Like I had really had nothing to lose. Like I was like, I'm not afraid of not hitting it. Like I'm still here. Like I'm
Yeah.
still training. Like I'm still in one piece.
Hmm.
So like that was really my mentality of like, I've already tried twice. Like, what's a third try? Like
Yeah.
I have nothing else to lose at this point. And so I felt really confident in like that piece of it. And I think even thinking about like all of the work I had done, like I just like really trusted my training to where I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I was like those other attempts were just not my day. Yeah, it was like really interesting like leading into it. I think I just like released a lot of like pressure because like I had had already 2 attempts where there was like this pressure to try and hit it. And I think
Yeah.
because the last one, it was like, yeah, like, and you would think that there would be much more pressure, but I actually felt like a lot more like joyful about it because I was like, yeah, like after today, I can't try anymore. And
Yeah.
like I can try for like another cycle, but like, like
Well, it's
I
a little
tried,
relief, it's a
yeah,
relief
like it
that,
was a little
this
bit
is
more of
it.
a
Yeah.
relief point. So I was like, it was like I'm gonna try really hard like race day, and if it
Yeah.
happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then like,
Well, you gave it your
it could,
all.
yeah, it could happen another time. And
Yeah.
so like I think that was like what I had realized too of like it might not happen the day that I want it to, but it eventually will. And
Yeah.
like I think that was like the piece that I needed.
Hmm.
So I remember my sister being like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go and like watch you like try and hit this thing."
That's awesome.
And my little sister was there. And so like my family is actually like we love running and like we're a big running family and
That's
track.
awesome.
Like I'm the only one that really kind of runs competitively,
Yeah.
but like because I've been doing it for so long, they're so invested in like running culture too.
Yeah.
And so like my dad was so excited to like go
Hmm.
and see the race. Like even if I had qualified or not, he just would have been excited that I ran a marathon.
Yeah.
And so when I qualified, they said that they like jumped up and down and then like my sisters were like hugging each other crying. And then my dad was like, "Come on, let's go. Like we gotta go find her." So my sisters were more emotional than anything, but I
Yeah.
think my dad, like he was seeing me come down and they said that my dad was crying already. And
Oh,
like
wow.
I think like once I had done it, he had already stopped crying. He
Yeah.
was just like, "Okay, thank God." Like let's go find her. So it was like really funny because I was just like so tired. But yeah,
Yeah.
they were like so excited. I think too, it was just more of like it's I think too when you do sports and like you've done it for so long, like
Hmm.
you realize that your family is so invested in it
Yeah.
too. They can't help but like be part of it.
Yeah.
So I think to like see all of the years of like labor and like just I think all of the discipline that came along with it. Like I think it was also just satisfying for them to finally see something like like tangible
Yeah.
occur a little bit more. So I think that was like a big piece of it for them too.
No,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And
Mhm.
I feel you because of
Mhm.
being coming from a Mexican family or Hispanic family.
Mhm.
I feel like Valley families are the same. When something major happens to one of your kids or a family member, we all hover
Mhm.
and want to be,
Yeah.
there to cheer you on and
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
celebrate and
Yeah.
make you feel, all those great vibes, right? So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
so awesome. But
Mhm.
um, that is such a cool story, and that you were
Mhm.
able to hit it. And but I love the positivity that you have because, like
Mhm.
you said, if it didn't hit, it's okay. Like you weren't gonna put all that pressure back on you, And
Mm-mm.
that's I think that's a lot what a lot of people should feel like that, regardless of what it is that they're trying to hit a goal. If it's not getting that job that you always wanted, I
Yeah.
think it could be applied to a lot of things.
Mhm.
And it's the hardest thing to do sometimes, but
Yeah.
I'd had to learn it the hard way because um, I got into marathons and I could not
Mhm.
figure it out, like the cramping part. And funny thing, this year I finally figured it out. I ran a Houston Marathon with no cramps
Mhm.
at all, which
Mhm.
was very, very happy.
Yeah.
But I kept on trying. I could
Yeah.
have given up
Mhm.
like 3 marathons ago or something like that.
Yeah.
Saying, this is just not for me. I was not made to run these things, obviously, or something like it's something very negative. But I said, you know what? There's always a positive out of this, and just move on, move forward, and I'll
Mhm.
figure it out. I want to do this. I know I'm a marathoner. I want to do this. So
Mhm.
that's awesome. But let's talk a little bit about more now. Go to your, what you do now. So
Mhm.
how when did you decide? I know you said in college you studied it. Was there a purpose why you wanted to study nutrition and stuff like that? Because you were a runner, or it's something that you've always liked?
That's a good question. I would say like both, but like So when I started college, I was actually like on a bio pre-med track. Like I wanted to go to medical school.
Okay.
And then like when I did my first semester of classes,
Mm-hmm.
they were just it was just I think too many new things at once for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean also coming from like the Valley and then moving to Houston, like that was
Mm-hmm.
already like a big
Oh
adjustment.
yeah. Yeah.
Um so I think like there was that like I didn't consider either when I was like putting together my semester of school classes.
Yeah.
So I still ended up doing well as like a freshman taking like upperclassmen classes because I had like tested out of a lot of things with like my AP credits and like dual enrollment stuff that I did in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Um but I think yeah, my advisor was like, "Hey, like, maybe we do like nutrition and like you can do like the same track as like all the other pre-meds, but like you'll have all these other classes and like all of this other knowledge that you could like benefit from prior to like applying to medical school. Like that's like your goal."
Mm-hmm.
And then there was also the piece of like being a runner and then like using that to benefit me. Um, but yeah, I would say like, part of my part of my whole story is also like me having an eating disorder as
Okay.
well, which like makes all like the running success even sweeter because I
Yeah.
was in recovery by that point.
Oh well.
But like my collegiate years, like I spent a lot of it like very much underfueled, like really struggling with body image, working on like coming out of my eating disorder with like a team of people while I was still going to school and
Yeah.
also still training and competing and
Mm-hmm.
traveling. How I did all of that, I don't know, but like I had a lot of support at the time that like
Yeah.
really helped me. And then yeah, I was able to like finish collegiate training in one piece and then like enter recovery and then like graduate with like a nutrition degree too. So yeah, it was just like a really stressful time in my life. I really feel for a lot of young collegians because it is very stressful.
Yeah.
I do see a lot of collegians struggle with it, and usually it is like very much like perfectionist related, which
Yeah.
like is a tendency to, and like I would say like I still have a lot of perfectionist tendencies, but like, having that experience and like working a long time in recovery, it's gotten a lot easier to manage.
No, and it's crazy that you mentioned that because I feel like me seeing outside, but not being in the collegiate side, I feel like that's such a big thing, the image, and you got to look at a certain way, you got to weigh a certain amount, and as a runner, I can only imagine that that just puts a lot of pressure, and sometimes that's why these things happen, and I'm glad that you once you're able to figure it out, which is great, and use that your nutrition now as a dietitian to be able to use that to maybe help other people, that
Yeah.
might need it. Like you said, you were underfueled. Maybe I'm sure that now you have so much knowledge to be able to provide to people that might be in the same situation, and how is the business working for you? The Healthy Shine is the name, right?
Yes, yeah. So that's my private practice.
Mm-hmm.
So I work with like just runners and like endurance athletes on their nutrition.
Yeah,
So yeah, like I've used like my past experiences to really help other clients of mine who are athletes
yeah,
navigate like how to align their nutrition preferences or like their nutrition challenges, like realign them with like their athletic goals as well. I think like that's like one positive out of like that whole experience is
yeah,
that like I have a deeper understanding of like some of the stressors, concerns, and even like, even some of like the weight loss goals that people have,
yeah,
as well, like being sensitive to that, and then also talking through clients like, that maybe that is not something that they need to be super concerned about, but like they need to be focusing on this and like the weight loss may or may not happen like during a marathon training cycle.
yeah,
It could happen outside of it, but like as you're actively pursuing like a high energy activity, Like
Hmm.
we can't be cutting back on energy and calories all the time
Of
either.
course, of
Hmm.
course.
Yeah.
And this question, I will tell you,
Hmm.
when I was thinking about it,
Hmm.
asking you,
Hmm.
it is has a little personal feeling for me
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
I really do would stress a lot about that as a runner. How do you teach runners to fuel without stressing over food?
Hmm.
And I before you answer, I want to let you know, I want to explain to you why that is a big
Hmm.
question for me because once I
Hmm.
really started really wanting to do marathon.
My friend Rob on the Run Productions. My good friend Rob Garcia, who many of y'all probably know by his own podcast, Rob on the Run, is the technical wizard behind Today in Running History. So, all the visuals you see on YouTube, plus the intro and outro music, deleting all of my errors that I make, and I make a lot of them, and then saving those for everyone's favorite blooper reels at the end of the episode. That is all thanks to Rob. And if any of y'all are looking to get into the world of podcasting or YouTubing and you need some help on the production side of things, I cannot recommend Rob's services highly enough. You can reach out to him by emailing robontherunpodcast@gmail.com.
And stuff like that,
Yeah.
I knew that I had to change something in my nutrition
Hmm.
because I'm not gonna lie, I was the type of person that said, I work out a lot, I run a lot. Let me just eat whatever I want.
Hmm.
That was
Hmm.
my
Yeah.
excuse per se. But
Yeah.
then I started realizing, you know what, I can run this. I can run it at a good pace. I know I can do
Yeah.
better. But then I
Yeah.
started thinking like, man, I'm struggling with the food part. And I
Hmm.
always would stress about that because I would
Hmm.
say, this is a reason why I can't hit my goals. This is a reason why I cramp. This is a reason that. So I would stress over food a lot.
Hmm.
And sometimes you know, I would probably starve myself too, in a way,
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's why I asked this question because it's very interesting to know how you would, if you have a
Assess
runner
it.
like myself, what would be,
Yeah.
what would you recommend them, I guess?
The way that I first work with people is I actually will have them like tell me like some of their concerns and challenges. So
Hmm.
like getting a good idea of like where their headspace is at a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely like you want to know like what are your concerns, what are your challenges, and what is your goal,
Yeah.
right? I think those things are like really good to identify before even reaching out for help, because it gives the dietitian or who you're working with like an understanding of like, okay, this person can identify these things, and then like this is our goal. Is this feasible or not? Or like what am I gonna have to do as a practitioner to then do to get them to that goal in a safe way? Do I need
Yeah.
to provide them education? Do I maybe need to put it in a more realistic setting? Like for example, let's say somebody's saying like I eat a lot of junk food and my goal is to lose like 20 pounds in the next 2 months for a race.
Yeah.
That's not realistic.
Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
So like that, like just that right there is not realistic. Could I say like, okay, like her goal is to lose 20 pounds, but like, that might not happen. Like if maybe even like the next 4 months, right? Like, that might or might not happen in a
Yeah.
marathon training cycle either. So like sometimes it's more of, can you actually like reduce your volume? Are you doing other forms of activity? How much are you doing? Like sometimes like being more realistic and
Yeah.
like receptive to that feedback. It's not necessarily criticism, it's feedback so that way you can do it in a safe way. And
Yeah.
working collaboratively, I think, is like a huge one because I think some people are just like, here's my problems. Can you fix it? It's like,
Yeah.
no, I have to like work with you in a collaborative way here.
Yeah.
Um, I think the next part too is um, like, I usually will get like a backlog of like, what is it like your day looks like, or maybe over like the last 3 days
Yeah.
or the last 24 hours. So that
Okay.
way I can see like, hey, what is this person waking up and like, are they waking up at 6 a.m. and out for a run at 7? Are they
Hmm.
eating anything? Like all of that is important. So that way I can identify the gaps there. If somebody's not eating before like a 2-hour run, and then they don't take in any fuel, but then they're not they're wondering why they are binge eating at like 7 p.m. at nighttime and they feel horrible.
Yeah.
It's probably what's happening the first part of the day.
Yeah.
So like having a good sense of like what's happening around your training
Yeah.
is like very key to even prevent behaviors here that are self-sabotaging for you. Yeah.
That's interesting because that's you just
Mhm.
practically said me.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
exactly I'm better
Mhm.
now. I will admit I'm better now, but
Mhm.
um I don't like I used to not
Mhm.
be comfortable eating before a run.
Mhm.
Whether it's like a, hour and a half, 2 hour run, whatever the long run is for the
Mhm.
day,
Mhm.
because I would always feel very heavy. And so
Yeah.
I would always go out on an empty stomach and then, 2 hour run or whatever, 20-mile run because I'm almost at the point where, I'm about to taper, and, by mile 15, I'm like, I'm so tired. I don't have anything in me to finish the last 5 miles or whatever. And I never understood why. And it's because of the fact that I would just go out there with nothing in my stomach and my body's trying to find energy and there's nothing
Mhm.
in there, kind of.
Mhm.
And it took
Mhm.
me a while. And it's awesome that you mentioned that because um I was one of them. I was one of them, and
Yeah.
I had to learn the hard way. I had to learn that there is a
Mhm.
science to it, obviously,
Yeah.
but those are the mistakes that I used to do. And, just talking about mistakes, what do you think are the biggest mistakes you see in runners that they make when it comes to their nutrition?
I would say probably not fueling before runs. That's a
Hmm.
huge one, especially long runs. Not fueling during.
Hmm.
I think also not eating enough after. I think like either people are still like they're still chatting with their friends too long, or like they go have a coffee and like that's it. And then
Yeah.
they get home and it's like 3 hours after their run. Like
Yeah.
there has to be something there sooner. So I think that's a big issue. So I guess like that's three. The fourth issue would be like not eating enough at all.
Yeah.
So that would be like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
Uh, I think too. When it comes to like runner nutrition, I think like some runners will fixate on one thing, like sugar. Like they'll fixate on one thing
Hmm.
and then like they'll make all their nutrition choices around sugar,
Yeah.
but not really understanding like what sugar is, like how to use it as like a runner and like what does it mean for like general nutrition
Yeah.
population. Like I think that is a huge one. Um I think too people undervalue hydration.
Oh, yeah.
100%, especially in Houston and Texas.
Yeah.
People undervalue hydration. And it doesn't even mean like electrolytes, like it just means like drinking enough water.
Yeah.
Like that is a huge one. And typically, like I see a lot of athletes when they hydrate better, they can take and feel a lot better. Their
Hmm.
bowel movements are a lot more regular and they can
Hmm.
anticipate it before a run a lot better too.
Yeah.
Um, those are just like things around like just running nutrition that I see a lot.
And
Yeah.
us being like in such a Latino
Mhm.
area, and of course
Mhm.
Houston is very known, just like the Valley, for their tacos and their
Mhm.
beautiful greasy food. Is that something you find that a lot of runners
Mhm.
go there? That's their go-to, and how efficient is that as a runner to be able to eat? I mean, because Latino food, Mexican food, I love Mexican food. I grew up in a Mexican home, but that's
Yeah.
not always the best, nutrition per se for a runner. At least that's what
I
I think. Maybe you can correct me.
I would argue that it's actually the best in nutrition for a runner. Yeah. And so maybe this is also like destigmatizing it too
Hmm.
and like the like I do think that there's high quality ingredients and like you can choose high quality ingredients to make your cultural foods, or
Yeah.
you can choose lower quality ingredients to make your
Yeah.
foods. So uh if you're choosing lower quality ingredients, it could also be like you're trying to number one make a living by
Hmm.
selling things at like like so that way you have a higher profit margin. So there's like all of this like economics to it, right? Of
Yeah.
like why people serve like lower quality food as well.
Yeah.
Um, so I think making like conscious decisions around purchasing is key. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that like it's not good. It probably is very good,
Yeah.
but like you can actually make very high quality Latino foods a lot with a lot better ingredients and higher quality ingredients.
Yeah.
And it is healthier actually. So like one thing I always also inform patients of, like whenever I've worked with them in the past, is
Mm-hmm.
like we want to think about too like mango, for example.
Mm.
Mango in the US sucks. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Unless
I
you're
yeah.
buying organic, it's a lot better. But
Yeah.
like even then you gotta wait like 4 or 5 days for it to like be good.
Yeah.
But like in Mexico, it's like good all the time. So like and it's also more affordable
Mm-hmm.
too,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
like things that are already organic, like most farmers are not going to label it organic because it's already organic, right? Like why
Yeah.
would they like people buy off of like taste and quality, right? Like the consumer purchases are very different in terms of consumer values.
Yeah.
So that's the first part. So like let's and like even then, like let's say your abuelita has like a mango tree in the back. You're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna go to the corner store to like get it. You're gonna go to the tree in the
Oh,
back
hell
and
yeah.
get a
Yeah.
mango. Like, because
Yeah.
that's how I grew up too in the valley,
Same.
like an orange. So we would go and like pick an orange and eat it there.
Yeah.
Um, so you're already getting fiber and vitamin C and a whole lot of other vitamins and minerals. So when grandma is so used to doing that her entire life, or
Mm-hmm.
like even like your parents, like, and they come over here at age 25, they
Mm-hmm.
come over here to the US and they're purchasing things that are like, oh my God, it's a lot more expensive. It's
It's
not even
crazy,
that
right?
good. Why am I paying this much?
Yeah.
Like, why am I going to make this expense for something that is not good?
Yeah.
I'm going to go and buy something else because it's going to last me longer, and I can afford to buy it, right? And
Yeah.
so then family doesn't eat mangoes as much anymore. You
Yeah.
lose the exposure to the mango. And
Yeah.
I've met people who have never had a mango in their life.
That's a crime.
Yeah, I have met people who have never had a mango in their life, a pear in their life, like things like that. And like those are native to like Latin America.
Well,
Um,
you remind
so
me
like
of when I go to HEB,
mhm, mhm,
uh I always look for the aguacates that have the hechos en Mexico
yeah,
because
yeah.
man, when you get the ones like I think
Mhm.
California ones, they just don't taste the same.
No,
It's
yeah.
it they taste water. Like I literally taste
Mhm.
water in those
Yeah,
aguacates. And when you
yeah,
get one from Mexico, it's so
yeah.
creamy. It has so much flavor, you know?
Hmm,
And it's
hmm.
crazy that you're saying that reminded me of how picky I am when it comes to the avocados. I love
Yeah,
mangoes too. So
yeah,
I've tasted some
yeah,
of the mangoes and here and I'm like, wow, like where's the
yeah, yeah.
flavor?
Yeah, exactly. Pay attention to like the actual like whole food choices that you make, and
Yeah.
they're very much rooted in quality,
Yeah.
like very much. And so like whenever I talk it through, people they're like, no wonder my mom stopped, like never made this kind of food for me. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, it wasn't that you know, that she didn't know how or
Yeah.
like didn't want to. It was just that it might have been too expensive and it probably tasted not so great to her, right? So why was she
Yeah.
going to spend money to buy something that she wasn't going to like,
Yeah.
right? And so I think like when we think about it from that lens, like yes, like we're losing fiber, vitamins, and minerals, but like to say that our foods are not healthy, I totally disagree with. Yeah, I think like we have such great foods, and like that we can actually lean on like our flavor profiles a lot more to make food good. And I
Yeah.
think like that's really a culinary superpower of Mexico and of like other Latin American countries is
Yeah.
like we're scrappy enough like make things taste good. Yeah, like you have like the gift of sabor is the
Oh
way I
yeah.
call it. Hmm.
It's funny
Yeah.
that you say give this award because I went to
Mhm.
Berlin last 2 years
Mhm.
ago for the Berlin Marathon, and
Mhm.
man, like
Mhm.
I'm so happy that I grew up in a Mexican Latin family because
Mhm.
Europe has like
Mhm.
there's no flavor to their food. And
No,
us as
yeah.
Latinos, we're so used to like
No.
that
Yeah.
sazon, that all
Mhm.
that beautiful stuff that your mom
Yeah.
and abuelita
Mhm.
makes and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I'm happy that you're correcting me because I
Uh,
love me my Mexican food.
yeah. Yeah.
I think it's the I'm biased about it obviously, but I think it's
Uh-huh.
one of the best culinary foods there
I
are in the
think so
world.
too. Yeah, I would say like people ask me like which cuisine like fascinates you the most, and I'm like Mexican food. Like it is so interesting to me, the
Yeah.
flavor profiles, the ancient techniques that we use like to make food,
Mm-hmm.
like all the different herbs and spices like that we
Mm-hmm.
use in our food, incredibly anti-inflammatory. Yeah.
Yeah.
We also
And I feel
rely
it's
a
less
lot.
processed. Like a lot of
Yes.
food, especially like in Mexico, like
Mhm.
they don't put as much chemicals to the stuff that
Mhm.
makes
Yeah.
it that I think that's what makes it more unhealthy, you know. It's not so much the food itself, it's sometimes like you said, the way you prepare it, and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting that you say that, you
Yeah.
know.
I think too, like dietary fiber, right? Like I always encourage people to think about like what foods do we have in our culture that are high in fiber, right? Like there's avocado,
Mm-hmm.
nuts, seeds, like pepitas,
Mm-hmm.
like there's a ton of that in actual like cuisine, right?
Yeah.
Tex-Mex, that's different. That's like another genre of
Yeah.
like food. But like true Mexican food has a lot of high fiber things in it and like whole food sources of things.
And a lot of people don't even think
Um,
about that. Like
oh,
they don't
mhm,
realize that how
mhm,
much it does.
mhm. Yeah, like you're like families will fight about who makes the best salsa, right? And like there's tomato, jalapeno, like all of these things. I do
Mm-hmm.
encourage a lot of people to like revisit like their local Michoacanas so
Oh
that way
yeah.
they can go and like look at the produce and like
Mm-hmm.
actually try to cook more of it as a side. And like
Yeah.
they're really trying to increase their fiber. Beans are also super high in
Oh yeah.
fiber too. And like
That's
the
one thing that there's always at least
Mhm.
once a day here at the
Yes.
house. They gotta have
Yes.
your frijoles
Hmm.
with your
Hmm.
food, and it's
Yeah.
I mean it's stuff that you
Mhm.
as a Hispanic, it's you don't think about it. It's
Yeah.
just part of
Mhm.
your meal regimen per se. But speaking about meal regimen and stuff like that, um, do you help the runners figure out their meal plans based on the runs, or do you get runners that ask you like what should I take on a run, like on
Yeah.
race day or stuff like that? How do you um, do that if that's something you do?
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked that. So yes, I do help a lot of runners figure out like different meal options for the week based off of their training volume or intensity.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll like look at, like how far out is your race? Let's work
Yeah.
backwards and then like
Mm-hmm.
figure out where your training is.
Mm-hmm.
And like typically with newer runners, like if they don't know those things, like the good thing is that I've been a runner for a long time.
Yeah.
So like I'm not a coach, but like I've trained at different levels.
Yeah.
So like I always encourage people like don't be shy. Like I can actually like look at it a lot better.
Yeah.
And I find that a lot of my newer runners, even though they have a coach, they can actually like understand their training cycle a lot better too,
Yeah.
because I'm sitting with them for an hour at a time and
Mm-hmm.
we're discussing their training and
Yeah.
then we're putting together their meals as well. Like these are the different breakfast options to consider this week, lunch and dinner and snack. They go and they try it out. They give me feedback on it, and then
Mm-hmm.
we revisit like what their training is going to look like again over the next couple weeks. Um, we typically also look at like their pre-run meals, their recovery nutrition, to make sure it looks good. And if not, then I step in and really help them with that. And then also like figuring out their nutrition during long runs. Some people have a hard time nailing down a gel, figuring
Yeah.
out where to even start with it,
Yeah.
and then like how often to use it, right? Or
Yeah.
like they have stomach issues during and like they can't figure out why. So a lot of
Yeah.
that like I step in and I help with. Hmm.
That's awesome. That's really good. And help me figure out because I've always wanted to figure out the whole carb loading thing. Some people say you do it the day before the run. I've heard that it's best for you to do it several days before. What do you think, in your perspective, is the proper carb loading for a big race like a marathon or any endurance race that you're doing?
So if you're doing like a marathon or like marathon, you probably want to do like 2, 3 days ahead.
Hmm.
And then like half marathon is 1 to 2.
Okay.
Um, like anything under a half, I'm like, you just need to make sure that you like have like a higher carb dinner, maybe
Yeah.
higher carb lunch. Yeah. So, but it is helpful for people to start doing like their potential like pre-race dinner,
Hmm.
like as many times as they can before a really hard effort workout
Okay.
or a long run. So that way you can already know like, does this thing work for me? Do I
Mm.
feel good? Like, does it make my stomach hurt the next morning? Like things
Yeah.
like that you want to roll out ahead of time. So that way you have time to figure out other meals
That's
beforehand. And
interesting.
I
Yeah.
always encourage that.
I never thought about that. That's just the same
Mhm,
thing as how you when you're
mhm,
doing your long runs, that's where
mhm,
you on the training runs you test out
mhm,
the gel that which gel works with your
mhm.
stomach. Same thing. I never thought about like
Yeah,
even
yeah,
before the big day or the big week, I guess race week, you should be doing that just to eliminate foods that might make you feel bloated, I guess, in the morning
mhm,
or upset your stomach where you got to wake up in the middle of the night or something. And
yeah,
obviously that's going to lose you some sleep
yeah.
leading up to a long run or something. That's very interesting. I never thought about it that way either. So that's
Mhm.
pretty cool.
Yeah, so you really want to like practice as much as you can. I wouldn't say like every weekend needs to be like a pre-race a weekend, but
Yeah.
like it's always good to practice like at least like your pre-long run dinner.
Hmm.
So that way, like pre-race, you have like a meal that you know for sure, or even two meals for sure that you can add to like your carb load day menus, right?
Yeah.
I always encourage to for people to at least do like one big race beforehand. So either that's like a 10 miler, a 10K, or
Hmm.
like even like a half, just so you can practice a pre-marathon or like a potential pre-marathon
Yeah.
fuel in the morning. So like that way again like you can make sure that the liquid that you plan to use it sits well. You're giving
Yeah.
yourself enough time because like for races like New York, like that's hard to be able to replicate like in Texas, especially because of the heat. Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna go out and run like a 20-mile long run at 11 a.m. here.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna do that. Like that's too hot.
Yeah.
But like you want to make sure that you're practicing for like races like that. That's usually the biggest thing that I see go wrong for runners that do Boston. They just don't
Hmm.
practice enough. They don't practice enough their pre-run breakfast, or like their pre-long run breakfast,
Yeah.
um, enough times, and then they don't practice like their pre-long run meals enough either.
No, and you brought up something very interesting because I
Mhm.
think that was one of the reasons why my Berlin Marathon didn't go as planned.
Mhm.
So to give you more like a little bit of details on that, I cramped in Berlin as well.
Mhm.
The good thing about it, I guess the positive, well, no, I guess the positive thing that I got out of it is that I cramped out at mile 24, which I would always cramp between mile 20, 21, always it was around there. And it's funny because I don't think it was you hitting the wall, that famous wall on mile 20. It was
Mhm.
just me cramping. Other than that, I felt great. It's just the
Mhm.
cramping, right? So you saying that makes a big makes me realize that that also was my problem because when I went to Berlin, I didn't realize that, their foods are so different. Like their breakfast, what I was used to eating breakfast before my long
Mhm.
run was not what they eat over there. Like
No,
I eat
yeah.
my scrambled eggs with ham and beans, and when I got there at the Holiday Inn that I stayed, I was like, where are the eggs? Like, where are the beans? And all they eat is like a hard-boiled egg with cold cuts. And
Mhm.
so that's what I ate before my race, and that's nothing that I was ready. So I probably was I didn't eat enough for what
Yeah.
was coming up, you know.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
funny that you say that because I should have practiced maybe what they were eating over there, or research what is it that they have over there, so I can prepare myself better and go with a better chance. So that's another eye-opening experience for me,
Mhm.
learning on my Berlin Marathon. So
Mhm. Mhm.
it now I understand how important it is to be
Yeah.
ready for all these kind of things that
Yeah.
get thrown at you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, people can like sometimes assume like, oh, like why am I gonna is like hire somebody to like help me with nutrition? Like I can do it myself.
Yeah,
That's totally fine. My counter argument is like you spend so much time and like so much money getting to this race. Like you have like really invested so much. Like
yeah,
the least you can do is like, make sure that the nutrition's going to go right so your
yeah,
race is right. Yeah, most of the time races don't go right because it's something fuel related.
yeah,
It's like hardly ever like new training related, right? Like
yeah,
or maybe you just are not ready to hit the time.
yeah.
But like most of the time it's nutrition and fueling related.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in my case, I've done 7 marathons, and up to
Mhm.
this last one, all six were nutrition related,
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah.
I wasn't taking enough
Mhm. Mhm.
sodium, for example, which has
Mhm.
been always my one of my biggest things.
Mhm.
And and you again, you're 100% right. You hit it right on the dot. At least for me, it's always been
Mhm.
a nutrition thing. And I can honestly say I was one of those people, like you said. Why do I need somebody? Why do I have to pay somebody to show me how to eat? And I finally
Yeah.
did get a dietitian,
Yeah.
and man, it made a big difference.
Yeah,
It
it
made a
makes a huge
huge
difference.
difference. You know,
Hmm.
I this year, especially this year, um, in January, I said, you know what? I'm 230 pounds. I know
Hmm.
if I can lose some weight, I can run more efficient because, I can feel it. I can feel that I was overweight, and even though I'm a very active person, I work out, I run, I cross train, all these things that you should be doing as a runner. I still didn't feel great about my running. And
Hmm.
so I decided to do it in the first like 2 months. I kid you not, Starla. The first 2 months, I said, I'm gonna do it on my own.
Hmm.
And then when I got a dietitian, because I noticed like from January to February, I lost like 20 pounds
Yeah.
in 1 month. And then when I finally said, you know what, something's wrong. There's no way that you can lose that much weight. I was
Hmm.
happy. Don't get me wrong. I was super
Hmm.
ecstatic, but I was like, this is
Yeah.
not right. Something's wrong because I
Yeah.
can't lose. There's just no way that you can lose that much without
Hmm.
starving yourself. And so I got a dietitian, and she did the same thing, like you did. Told me, what do
Hmm.
you eat? What do you eat from Monday through Friday? Tell me exactly what you eat for breakfast, blah, 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 blah. And when she told me, she's like, man, you're a runner. You're throwing so much energy in your runs, and you're eating that. You're starving yourself. It's a miracle that you still have the energy to do it, you know?
Yeah.
And
Your
that's
body
where
gets
everything
really on to
changed.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it changed. And
Yeah.
and 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 now we're in August, mid-August or late August, and I am now at 185, you
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
But it's been a much healthier way. And unfortunately, I lost my dietitian. She's no longer doing it. So maybe I found a new one. I think I might have found a new one.
Yeah. 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 Thanks for sharing. Yeah. So I think like yeah, I would say like a lot of men actually like under fuel, believe it
Yeah.
or not. I've worked with a lot of like male athletes over the years.
Hmm.
I'd say like, there are some that actually do eat like enough to support their training and then some. So like you can actually see the difference too.
Oh yeah.
But like most of like the male runners that I've worked with just don't eat enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they find themselves in very similar positions too. Um, and so like it is really hard because like a lot of times people assume that like men eat like an excessive amount,
Yeah.
but like most of the male athletes that I've worked with, they just like don't eat enough and like their metabolic health is like really struggling. And so then it ends up holding on to the weight instead because it needs
Yeah.
whatever nutrition and energy you're giving it
Yeah.
to like complete its day. So of course it's too stressed out. Of course it doesn't want to lose weight. It doesn't feel like it has enough fuel to get it out of a stress state. And that's how
Yeah.
I describe it to people. We got to get it out of a stress state to actually make it do what you want it to do.
And that's funny that you say that because it's like you're speaking my story. It would always break my head. Like I run 4 times a week. I
Mhm.
work out. I do gym workouts 3 times a week, and then I
Mhm.
do yoga twice a week.
Mhm.
I do all these amazing things when
Mhm.
it comes to, working
Yeah.
out. Why is it that I can't lose the weight? You
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
And it's exactly what you're saying, and I never realized that I was just not doing things the right way, but yeah, I think like I mentioned to you earlier, I think I'm gonna have to reach out to you and schedule something, and you can tell me if I'm still doing the right
Mhm.
thing or not for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I'm
I'm
interested in finding
sure.
out too.
Yeah, I'm sure it's much better now that you worked with someone. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure it'll
no,
be
I'm pretty
much
sure,
better.
but I still think that I could do. There's something that I can tweak where I'm because I do feel that I'm eating better. I'm making better health choices, but I think I might be under eating, like you said. I still think there's room for improvement, and I agree with you what you said earlier. You pay so much for these races, you train so hard for these races, then why not have everything in line, and I think that's something that I should have told myself back when I went to Berlin because that 9 hour flight sucks to be on a
Yeah.
plane for that long. It's only to cramp out
Yeah.
and lose the opportunity to do better. And it was such a
Yeah.
heart-wrenching race because right at mile 24, Starla, I was gonna PR. I was actually gonna have I was scheduled to PR by 30 minutes. I was
Hmm.
gonna hit a sub 4 hour a race,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I cramped so bad in mile 24 that the last 2 miles it took me like 40 minutes to
Oh
finish.
my gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 It
Oh
it was
man.
it was it was the hardest thing that I had to do, and seeing how the time was just passing and passing, and I'm like, there goes the PR.
Mm.
And I'm happy that I finished. Obviously, that's the number one thing. I finished the marathon, but knowing that I was so close,
Hmm.
so close to hitting a PR
Hmm.
by smashing it by so much, and that's
Yeah.
when it made me really realize I need to figure this out because
Yeah.
I did everything right. I did all my runs right. I nailed the what my running coach wanted me to do that day, and only because of a cramp that I couldn't perform the whole
Hmm.
26 miles. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely still think there's always room for improvement. That's obviously
Yeah.
something that I'm always wanting to do, and I guess that's a perfectionist in me as well. That I know
Yeah.
that there could be something better. But talking about you and your nutrition, what is your pre or post workout meal? How does that look for you personally?
That's a good question. So like I'm actually coming back from an injury, so
Okay.
my volume is like so different right now from
Mm-hmm.
what it normally is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing like 45, like 30-minute jogs some days and then other days 45-minute jogs. But I would say like most of the time mine is like maybe like 2 eggs and 2 slices of toast with avocado. Other times it might be like a breakfast taco with egg, spinach, and cheese. Other times it's like a chia seed pudding. I've been like doing a lot more like cooler foods just because it's hot.
Yeah.
So I like a chia seed pudding with like fruit on top, a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
honey, peanut butter on top. So I'll
That
do
sounds
that.
really good, actually.
I've also been doing a lot of creamies. So
Mm-hmm.
like I have like a Ninja creamy
Mm-hmm.
and I do those with like yogurt, fruit, and then like frozen fruit. And like I mix it all together and then I add like granola and honey on top
Oh
too.
my God.
And some days if like I'm really prepping good for the week,
Mm-hmm.
I will actually instead of yogurt, I'll put a protein shake. I'll blend it, protein shake, and then I'll freeze it overnight, and then the next morning I have that.
Oh wow.
So it definitely varies. What else do I have? Some days I have oatmeal with like nuts, raspberries, chia seed, and honey. Pancakes. I've been doing a lot of protein pancakes on the weekends. Yeah. So honestly, it's like I eat like very varied. Yeah.
I'm not gonna
hmm
lie to you, you just made me hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say I do a lot of variety. That's really like what I like. I like a lot of variety for
Yeah,
myself, just to keep things interesting, or else I get really bored.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, I also don't like leftovers often, like maybe two, three times a week, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't do a lot of leftovers myself. That's not to say
Yeah,
that like I don't encourage that for other people and like they like that.
yeah.
I just don't personally. And like I
I,
like
I'm the
cooking.
same with you. Yeah,
Yeah. And like I enjoy cooking a lot. So I cook like every day because I like it. Maybe like
yeah,
on the weekend, I won't cook like once or twice, but like I
yeah.
cook quite often, like dinner.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I try to make enough food for everybody. That
Yeah.
way, there's not a lot of leftovers.
Yeah.
And if there is, every now and then, yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay. But
Yeah.
I'm big on eating the food there fresh when it comes out from when you're
Yeah.
cooking. But
Yeah.
I also enjoy cooking. I'm not the best cook, but I still
Mhm.
enjoy doing my meals and whatnot. But
Yeah, yeah.
um,
I tease my husband all the time. I'm like, well, because he like his mom cooked a lot too, and
okay.
my mom did too.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I'm like, man, I'm like, you really lucked out because like I love cooking.
Yeah.
I'd rather like eat at home and like cook something.
Yeah.
And so like he also doesn't like leftovers. Like I'm great with like having dinner and then like lunch leftovers. And then like I'll have to cook something new for dinner again.
Yeah.
Or I have two dinners back to back, the
Yeah.
same. And then by the third day, I'm like not interested. So
Usually the
he,
leftovers here at the house, the kids eat
yeah.
them. So
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think like when I was a kid, I think I ate, I don't even know. I don't remember. Um, but yeah, I would say like that's how I grew up. It was
yeah.
eating like like new meals all the time.
Yeah.
So that's usually why I don't like leftovers and my husband doesn't like them either.
I,
So
I I think that's the same way with me. I think
yeah.
I think I was always used to
Mhm.
mom
Mhm.
making, new meals. Or if
Yeah.
she had some leftovers from like
Mhm.
she would incorporate it somewhere or another, that leftover
That's
into
what
the
I
new
do.
meal.
Yes, I do that a lot too. Yeah, it
Yeah.
might be like a Latina thing. I don't know. Like a Latina mother thing.
Yeah,
So yeah, I like prefer to make food. I like, but yeah, it's like very relaxing for me
it is. Yeah.
actually. Yeah,
No, it
so I
is. It
like
is.
it. It's not like that for everybody, so I try to keep that in mind when I'm doing consultations with
Yeah.
people that like not everybody enjoys it. But for people that do, like, I can relate. Like I love cooking. It's one of my favorite things to do.
No, yeah, me too. Like I said, I'm not that good, but at least,
Yeah.
I can dish up a couple good meals, Latino
Okay.
meals or whatnot. My
Okay.
go-tos especially, but
Yeah.
I find it very therapeutic, to be honest, to
Yeah.
make your food. And I don't like eating out too much either. I
Mhm.
I I feel like eating out, to me at least personally, is more
Mhm.
of a like kind of like a date night thing
Yeah.
or something
Mhm.
special. But if I think if it's a daily thing, then it loses its charm, I guess. I don't know if that makes any
I would
sense.
agree. Yeah. And I think too, like when we ate out, it was like a big deal. And
Yeah.
like I think for like a while, like it kind of felt like it lost its luster a bit.
Hmm.
But like now I try to like treat it as like a very special thing of like, oh yeah, like we're going to have breakfast today, like somewhere else, or we're going to have dinner here somewhere else.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try to like appreciate it differently.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, because I know like even growing up, like it wasn't a thing all the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I try to like remember that too. It's like, oh no, like Like just because you have a job and you can do these things does not mean that you'll eat out all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And you get tired of it, like you said, like you if you do it every day, like I can only imagine you're gonna get tired of eating out all the time. And
Mhm.
then when you really want to go out, you I think that's where you sit in the car with your significant other and you're like,
Yeah.
"What do you want to eat?" I don't know, because you're
Yeah.
already tired of you don't even have an idea what to eat because you've eaten
Yeah.
everything already, basically, you know. So
Yeah. Mhm.
that's how I treat it as well. But Starla, I definitely this took longer than what I expected. I do
Ugh,
apologize.
it's okay.
We are kind of at the end. That's a good thing. So
Mhm.
we'll go ahead and give some time here for our episode 30, 30, yeah,
Mhm.
30. Or no, you're 30. I'm so sorry. You're 29. Let's go ahead and give them a little bit of time to ask the question, and then you'll come back and you can answer the question. Okay?
Perfect.
Awesome.
What would be your best pickup line for a runner?
Yeah, that's so funny. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Yeah, it's so funny because like my husband and I we met before dating apps existed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were already existing, but like we didn't meet on we met like in the wild is what we tell people. Yeah, we're like we met in the wild, like in person,
It's
and
so rare
so
nowadays, I feel.
yeah, it's like people are like, "What? Really? Like, what
What
were
does
you
that mean?
doing?" Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I meet so many people where they're like, "Oh, I met my significant other like on an app," and I'm like, "Oh, wow, like that's really neat." Yeah, I mean, there's not a wrong way to do it, and I think like research shows that most people are actually meeting their significant other like on an app anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm like, people are like, "How the heck did you meet somebody?" And I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I never thought I would meet
yeah,
the person I wasn't gonna marry through an app. I really didn't.
yeah,
I didn't see the
yeah,
apps as that way. But you know,
yeah,
it's there's still some good ones out there like
yeah.
that. But
I agree.
to
Yeah.
hear you that you met someone in the wild
Yeah.
is so not normal nowadays. So
Yeah.
that's kind of
No.
cool.
Yeah.
But
Everybody always freaks out. Yeah. But yeah, it's funny because I actually approached my husband, and I'm saying this too because like I'm thinking about a pickup line because
yeah.
I approached my husband actually. So there's that like you just bet on yourself. That was me. Yeah. Um, yeah, and I was just like, "Hey, like I recognize you. Like you were at so and so." And
Yeah.
like I recognized him before he recognized me.
Oh
And
wow.
then like when he remembered, he was like, "Oh, yes, I remember like this and this about you." And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, cool."
Okay.
Um, so I remember that. But yeah, it was really interesting. Yeah, I actually like went up to him like
Yeah.
right away.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah,
Um,
it's uh we like I mentioned before the recording, I met my fiance on Bumble. She's the one that actually
yeah.
you know, they have to like you, I
Mhm,
think. I think that's how it
mhm.
works. And it took me a while to reply because
Yeah,
I had very little faith. Up to that point, I think I had gone in a
yeah,
couple dates through Bumble, and I was
yeah,
like, nah, this is not me. I guess the old
yeah.
man in me was like, no, this is just, it doesn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. And I gave her
Yeah.
a chance, and 6 years later, we're finally getting married in October. So
Oh, that's so
it worked.
nice. Yeah,
There is some
yeah.
faith in online dating still, you know.
Yeah. You know, my husband said, and I wonder too if maybe you relate to like his comment about this, but
Hmm.
he had said like he said that like he liked that I approached him.
Yeah.
He said that he liked it because like he could tell right away from like our second meeting that like he was like, I just felt like you were like a kind person and like
Hmm.
you were like very upfront about like what is it that you wanted.
Yeah.
And he was like, and I never even thought about dating anybody. Like that was not on my radar. But he said that like he really liked that like I knew what I wanted
Yeah.
and that he was like and like you were like you backed up like everything that you would say
Yeah.
that like you wanted in a person like that you wanted in a person and then like what you said that you were.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh, you saw all of that?" And he was like, yeah, like I thought you were just like a really nice person and like I really liked that that's what you were. Like you were not like you would like because I would actually text him
Yeah.
first all the time.
Mm,
And he was like, I actually really liked that. And so he said that because I would do that, he was like, oh, this person like actually likes me. And so
yeah.
then he would reply back.
Yeah.
Not everybody has an experience like that, but he said that that's what he liked. I
Yeah,
think.
mine was like that too because
Mhm,
after we exchanged numbers,
mhm,
she would be the one that would initiate the
mhm,
conversation sometimes,
mhm.
and I'm like, oh, that's different. I kind of like
Yeah,
that too. So
yeah.
it showed a little bit more initiative, and to not to my favor, I've
Uh,
never been the type of person that likes to uh
uh,
because of my, I guess, maybe an insecurity or two.
yeah,
I feel like if she texts me, at least I know she liked me. I guess like your
yeah,
husband said,
yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, I can relate to that for sure. But
yeah.
I honestly I didn't even know I had the app. I because I didn't even do the app. Like a good friend of mine that I was rooming with for a while, he told me
Oh,
you need to start going
wow.
on dates. So let download this app. I'll fix it or whatever. And then when I moved out, I thought I had deleted it. So when I got
Uh-huh.
the notification that someone liked me, um, at first I was like, nah,
Yeah.
it's dumb. I'm not even gonna look at it. And then I guess something got to me that I checked, and then that's where it all started. But yeah, it's crazy
Yeah.
how I like your story more because I think nowadays everybody is kind of doing it that way through the dating app or some sort of dating
Yeah.
scene that's already kind of established. To find someone like you said in the wild is
In the
definitely
wild.
a little
Yeah.
different, a little I think nicer or to do it that way than having an app to do it
Um,
for you or something. I don't know.
yeah, it was so funny. Yeah, he was just like, yeah, you just like came straight up to me and like reminded me who you were. Yeah, I think I was just like, uh, yeah, I think I was just like at that time too, like just like it's okay if people don't know like remember me or like don't
Hmm.
know me or anything like that. Like I don't know. I think I was also like at just a phase in my life where I was just so like happy with who I was and like so
Hmm.
content. It didn't matter if he remembered me or not. Like I didn't need that to like make me feel good. Like I already knew
That's
what made
awesome.
me feel good. So he was just like, yeah, like it just showed right away that like you didn't even care if I remembered you or not. You were just like happy.
And look
And
at
I
y'all
was
now.
like,
Now y'all married already, so
yeah, now we're married.
it
Yeah.
worked out. It all
Yeah.
worked out.
Yeah. So yeah. And I'm like, I don't think I used a pickup line, but yeah, I was just like, hey, do you remember me? Yeah.
That's the pickup line right there, you know?
Yeah, maybe that is. You're just running along. You're like, hey, do you remember me? I ran with you at this club. Maybe I would just do that. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
Like,
awesome.
yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah, it was, yeah. Go
you
ahead.
can definitely thank your friend for that one because
Yeah.
she told me that Amber told me that she gets all these messages through her Strava, and I thought about it after we finished the
Uh,
episode. I thought about it. I was like, let me check my Strava, and all I got was spam. That's all I got. Mine were all spam. I'm like, what, man? At least you got a human being. I'm getting all these weird spam
yeah.
trying to take me to
Yeah.
these websites for
That's
something else. I'm
funny.
like, no, I haven't gotten any of those through
Yeah.
Strava. So
Yeah.
that was a little disappointing for a little bit, but I was like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, yeah. Now I'm like, because I totally forgot that it has that capability. I don't even, I
Yeah.
think maybe I blocked that capability. I don't know. Yeah.
I it is a little awkward when I guess
Mhm.
I when they announced it that they were having it. I'm like, for
Mhm.
what? Like, there's no point for it. But
Yeah.
I guess they figured a reason for that. But start
Mhm.
again. We definitely have gone over. Where do you have a question for episode 31?
I guess like, ooh, I guess like my question would be, hmm, this is so funny. If you could go to the grocery store and pick five things to eat this week, what would it be? Yeah,
Awesome.
that's my question. Being the
Awesome.
dietitian, I would
Being a
ask.
dietitian, that's perfect. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
And what would be the five things that you would get?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I've actually been really enjoying like making chicken salads with rotisserie chicken. So I
Mm.
would get a rotisserie chicken because you can do a lot with that.
Oh yeah.
You can make a soup, a stir fry,
I just
taco
made some
salad.
enchiladas verdes with a rotisserie chicken.
Yeah,
Oh
there you
my
go,
God.
enchiladas. Yeah, so I would get that. My next thing is I would probably get a mango just because we were talking about it and
Yeah.
it sounds really good. So I'd probably get a mango.
Mm-hmm.
My third thing would probably be um probably something like kind of sweet. Um, yeah, I think I would probably choose like maybe like a fun cold dessert, like maybe like a popsicle or like an ice cream. I would probably get one of those.
Okay.
Just for like fun. And
Mm-hmm.
then I think my fourth thing would be probably corn tortillas.
Okay.
And then my fifth thing would probably be cheese. I just like love like queso fresco, like
Yes.
because then I could make quesadilla, I could make
You can,
enchiladas.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would probably choose like a queso fresco, tortillas, a mango, and ice cream and a chicken. That sounds like a good dinner to me.
That sounds like a complete little dinner there
Yeah,
for sure,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
And
I think I would
I
choose
think you
that.
already answered it because you said of the ice cream, but
Uh-huh.
what would be like your guilty pleasure if you, just one
Hmm.
thing that is obviously not very good in the nutrition side, but
Yeah.
you would definitely go to if you if
Um, I like this is so funny that you're asking me this because I called my dad the other day
yeah.
and he was like, "Hey," and it was like me and my little sister on FaceTime with him.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, "Hey girls," he's like, "I'm gonna go to the panaderia. Do you guys want to come with me?" So this was like a whole like go to the panaderia with your dad, like
Yeah.
POV.
Yeah.
And so we were like, okay, like, yeah, like, and my dad gets like, he opens up the door. There's like a chime on the door. He
Uh-huh.
gets into his truck. So you hear like the little beeps and he gets in and he's yapping away about like the day. We're just catching up on like the day.
Yeah.
And like my dad parks the car and he gets out and he like opens up the door and like,
Uh-huh.
all of the sounds of being in a panaderia. You
Mm-hmm.
hear people's chanclas on the floor. Like you like
Yeah.
hear like the little tongs, like the little
Yeah.
plates, the little doors opening,
Mm-hmm.
like the sliding doors.
Yeah.
It's like you hear all of that, and like we were just like cracking up because we would go silent. And
Yeah.
then you would hear, and like my dad just like has he has the phone on the tray and he's just like slowly piling fun on top. So yeah, I would say like my favorite like guilty pleasure is like a pan dulce.
Oh
I
my
love
God.
conchas.
Yes.
I love maranitos too. Those are like my two favorites.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and I love like the pink cake. Yeah,
Oh yes. I know which one you're talking about. Yes.
like
Yes.
those are like my guilty pleasures. Yeah, like if I had to choose other things than like ice cream, because I like a lot of custardy things, but like
Mm-hmm.
a good pan will like make you happy for like a month.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God. The conchas. I used to cut the conchas in half and then
Mm-hmm.
put butter
Yeah.
and then put them
Oh yeah.
on the comal and oh
Yeah.
my God. It's like heaven on
Yes.
earth.
Yes. Yeah. I try to tell people, I'm like, when you grow up with those sounds, like you recognize it right away. It's like
Yeah.
sounds of your childhood.
Yeah,
Like,
no, yeah. What you with the
yeah.
way
Yeah.
you said it is exactly how I would picture me going into a
Yeah.
panaderia
Yeah.
and seeing all the pan there and just wanting to get
Yeah.
every single one.
Yeah, yeah. It was funny because then we were like laughing because then like you could hear the huerquillos yelling in the back. Like, it was just so funny.
Yeah.
Uh, and we were like, and then he gets out and he's just like, so happy with his little bag and he
Oh
sits it
yeah.
there and he drives home. And so we were just like, this would have been a great like like ASMR video to post with
You
my
should have
dad.
been recording it. You should have
We
been
should have been
recording it.
recording it. Yeah.
You're gonna have to tell your dad, "Hey, Dad, I think you need to go again and call us back."
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, he's so funny. We're like super close with my dad too.
That's
Like
awesome.
very, very close. So yeah, so he definitely is like waiting for us to go home to go to the bakery together. Yeah.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, after this weekend, I'm gonna be in the valley for the weekend,
Hmm.
and you just gave me the perfect thing to do. I'm gonna go buy some pan
Yeah.
and bring a big amount over here because my daughter loves pan dulce as well.
Yeah.
So
Have
definitely
you
do
ever
that.
gone to the panaderia in San Juan by the Basilica?
No, but I've heard of it.
You should. Yeah.
Okay.
It
Um,
is so good. Yes.
and we're gonna be on that side because we're staying in
Yeah.
Mission
Okay.
with my fiance's cousin. So I'm
Yes.
definitely gonna have to go. I'm gonna tell him to
Yeah.
take me
And you
over there
have
for
to go
sure.
early because they do sell out. They
Okay.
really do. Yeah. And
Okay.
like you have to take cash.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. I'm definitely
Yeah.
gonna do that. But
Yes. Yeah.
I know you were telling me you were injured, and
Mhm.
but do you have any plans on any races for the rest of the year, or what's on the
Um,
docket for you?
no races. I might do some running, but like maybe like a 10K just to like finish. No goal. I really don't want to aggravate because I have plantar fasciitis.
Oh, okay.
So it's been like a pretty long journey and like injury to get rid of.
Yeah.
It's just been like a year since like I've actually like put up some mileage
Okay.
because of my foot. So yeah, I'm just like being super careful
Yeah.
now and building back up. So I might do like a 10K just to like have fun with it and finish it. We'll see how my volume looks. I might do the half marathon just to like check it off another year and try to get to 10.
Okay.
Um, and then in terms of like racing, yeah, I would say my first race back will probably be like a half
Okay.
and maybe a fall marathon. Maybe I'll probably end up doing Houston next
Okay.
year.
Or maybe Amber
Um,
will convince you to, just like how she's convincing me to go to Eugene.
yeah, yeah. I've done the Eugene half. I definitely recommend doing it. I
Yeah.
think every runner should try to go to Eugene just because of the history
Oh
of
yeah.
running that's there. I did the half and it is a lot of fun. It is challenging, but it's a lot of fun. I haven't done the full yet, but like everybody says that they love it. Hmm.
Yeah, just the fact that you finish in the
Hmm.
stadium, there in Eugene, it's I think
Hmm. Yeah,
that's what sold me for sure to do
yeah,
it. But
yeah. Hmm.
maybe I'll if I can recommend you a 10K. There's this. I
Hmm.
don't know if you heard about the bridge series that they do over here in Kima
Oh
and
yeah.
Galveston. Those are nice little 10Ks.
Hmm.
There's two 10Ks and a half. I don't recommend the Laporte. I live in Laporte, and they have their Laporte half. I
Oh yeah.
That bridge, that Freddie Hartman bridge, is brutal.
Okay.
Definitely don't like it, but
Um,
I'll do it just
okay.
because I'm 5 minutes away from the starting line. So
Yeah.
that's one of those races that I can literally wake up 30 minutes before the
Okay.
race and still make it, you
Okay.
know. But
Yeah.
the Kima is a 10K and the Galveston is a 10K, which they're pretty nice. They're smaller races,
Yeah.
they're not big races, but they're pretty nice.
Okay.
And I think it's in October, I think somewhere in
Okay.
October, or a little
Mhm.
bit past October. I need to check the dates, but they're nice. So if you're looking for a 10K or something, I'll probably be there for Kima for sure, and
Okay.
if you want to do that one for sure, the 10K.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
fun.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep it in mind. I know like the spring series always happens, so I might pop into a couple. Yeah, I'm definitely I don't know when my racing will come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean again, I'm like people are like, "Oh, you have time," but um yeah, I'm also like considering how long I've been running and like I'm definitely not like 30 years old or in my 20s anymore.
Hmm.
So I do want to arrive in my 40s in one piece too. Yeah.
And plantar fasciitis, if you don't take care of it the right way, it can definitely
Yeah.
linger or get worse to something even worse than that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
one of my fears, like the plantar
Mhm.
fasciitis. So I'm always trying to stay as healthy as I can. But yeah,
Yeah.
take your time. Make sure you're ready to
Mhm.
get back out there. And I mean, there's
Yeah.
like my mom always tells me, hay más tiempo que vida, así que
Yeah.
don't
Hmm.
worry too much of that. But
Hmm.
whenever you're ready, let us know, and we'll be
Yeah.
rooting for you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I definitely need to be more active on social media, but yeah, I definitely will be sharing more of like the races that I do or like the my return to actual like running. Hmm.
Awesome, awesome. And this just leaves us to the last thing. How can someone find you on social media with your business as well?
Yeah.
All that.
So people can find me on social media at running.dietitian.starla.
Mm-hmm.
I would say like I'm pretty active on stories like quite a bit
Mm-hmm.
throughout the week.
Okay.
I do check those messages regularly, so I do encourage people to like come and like watch things that I share. I'm also building back my volume as well, so like hopefully like it also encourages people to like stick with it.
Yeah.
Um, and then I would say like people can also email me as well,
Okay.
and my email is also in my Instagram. So I always encourage people to do either route.
Mm-hmm.
You're likely to get a reply either option, but I just have so many DMs sometimes
Yeah.
that it can get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
So I always encourage people, like if you really want to work together and you're serious, just
Mm-hmm.
email me and
Yeah.
I'll probably get back to you sooner.
All right,
Yeah.
perfect, perfect. And I'll definitely email you about maybe
Mhm.
if you got some space there for one more person, maybe two. My fiance follows you,
Mhm. Yeah.
and she's also interested in maybe doing that. So
Yeah.
we'll keep in contact for sure, and
Yeah.
we would appreciate
Mhm.
the help in our side as well. But I really do thank you, Starla. I appreciate you giving me almost 2 hours of your time. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I hope you have a good night. And again, thank you very much for being a guest.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks so much.
Bye bye.